yearly break or one of the 2 yearly breaks that they do. So nothing's really going to change. So we can probably take a lot of the information as we see it using Lolalytics the way that we do
Yeah, right.
and
Sounds
getting an
good.
idea. You're probably seeing Kaisa all over the place.
I have seen her just at once more, but not too. I haven't played rank too extensively recently. I've only been playing to just the Avoid the Decay recently.
Okay, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, I need to get more into it, but she's been more popular lately.
The big thing that's coming up and what they're going to be addressing soon is Infinity Edge. Right?
Oh,
They don't they hate where it's at. It's awful where it's at. There's basically no reason to ever build Infinity Edge. You can make a case for like Caitlyn, who has or Jin, who has a guaranteed crit strike. But apart from them, there's really no reason to go Infinity Edge because the other items spike harder, faster, they do more, and it's just not a good damage. It's not a good source of damage, and it's a damage item, right? Like it doesn't even do its
right.
job better than other things.
Okay. I see.
Now, recently, what they did was they pegged down some of the other items. They pegged down Bloodthirster. They pegged down Gale Force. What that's causing is a general decrease in just all of the power across the board. Like they tried to make Infinity Edge more viable by nerfing other things, and the truth is, it's just still only a third item at best, and that's
Yeah, like
fine.
that's not gonna.
And like that's fine if you have a champion that can survive off of Kraken Slayer Bloodthirster, for example, or like Runon's builds, or even someone that can go like Blade of the Rune King and Ginsu's Rageblade instead, right? But if you're looking for an alternate build, less on hit, you just want to have more upfront. There's going to be a world where IE might be relevant, so expect that to change soon. But what it's causing right now is a boon to the non-marksman in bot lane. They're basically going to have a very high win rate. Now, they don't have the highest play rate, but if you look along with me, let me share my screen. All right, so you should be able to see it, right?
Give me one moment. I was just in my notes. All right. Yeah, I see.
You're going to see a lot of these caster types here doing really well. Okay. And like mages are the big boon. Another one of the champions that gets better like as things like Gale Force are going down in popularity. Simpler builds like Misfortune, someone who's building lethality instead of crit, because crit just is kind of weaker now. And so across the board, like the only real sources you see are Draven, Jin, like Twitch doesn't always build crit. Ashe basically doesn't need to build crit. Essence Reaver is the end, or Trinity Force. You don't need crit on Ezreal. Kai'Sa's been going
Right.
hybrid, Static Shiv,
Yeah, I
National
have been
Street.
seeing a lot more APCs in the bot lane recently. Like, not just like the mages in the bot lane, but like people in the bot lane going like AP. And I think I saw Draven recently go like, yeah, when Triforce is on the bot side.
Yeah, and Triforce Draven is actually exceptionally strong. Um, the the thing about Draven also, Draven is going to excel in a metagame where his counters are not strong. So, for example, Caitlyn has a huge advantage over him, but she's still reeling from the world's nerf, where she was basically, I think she was 100% or like 90, like upper 90s% present at worlds, and so she got that massive nerf where they just hit their AD and their armor, and those are the staples to trading in bot lane, and so Caitlyn's just not going to be in a good place, right? On top of the fact that Infinity Edge is bad. So like check out Caitlyn, here she
Yeah.
is.
Oh wow. Really all the way bad. Down
Yep.
with Callistan's area, the 286 to 1 to learn.
Yeah, and
Of course.
so Callista's an interesting one. They've buffed her a couple times. She probably is strong enough now, but she doesn't want to face off against Draven. She would love facing off against like the Kaisas of the world. But basically, my read on the environment right now is Ashe is the best across the board, and Draven is the best counter pick. And Kai'Sa's the best like fallback because you can do a lot of different things with her. You can go with like a collector build. You can start with Serrated Dirk and build into Gale Force and Kraken Slayer. Like there's a lot of options with her, and that flexibility makes her really good. But same thing is true about Ashe. Ashe is
Right, right.
not super exciting to play, but the big thing to know is that at level 1 you can win the game.
Yeah.
At
Yeah, I've seen like a lot of the Ashes just go with that lethal procs, and they're doing immense more than any
Right,
of the ADCs or sports.
right.
So
So Q at level 1 and then points in
yeah,
W
yeah,
onto Ashe is the big swing. But as far as like meta reads, meta is always going to shift, right? You're going to want to have a team of champions that you're picking anyways. So I'd rather just keep you on comfort picks and be able to adapt to the meta. If there's a champion that you want to learn, we can definitely go in. Like, I know you haven't played as much Kaisa as some of the other champions. I'm picturing Jinx as maybe your main. Is that true?
Jinx, out of all the champions, nah, I haven't really played as much. Recently, I've just been like playing the support games to just get through it and like see what's going on the bot side.
Okay.
And I'm thinking for playing more,
Oh, Lucian is one that you played a lot. I know that.
Evolution would be really nice.
Yeah, yeah. Lucian took a bit of a peg, and his like synergies. The champions that are good with him all got nerfed. Although Milio Lucian is still like, completely broken.
Right, and I've been looking more at like the Coglin definitely is someone super fun to play with. Not Zeri too much. I've been a little bit more Evolution.
Let's. Oh my goodness. So I was gonna say let's do some more Kog'Maw, and then I looked and you're 11-2 on this champion. Holy shit.
Yeah, the Cogma's games have been really, really lucky and really, really fortunate.
Yeah.
Like,
What?
it's because like a lot.
Go for it.
No, I was just gonna say like there's just a lot of the ADCs like I'm not like I've been I play like everything like so I've been like playing some Kaisas and like Lucian like all honestly whenever I feel like hey this is the time to play this champion that's when I'm playing this champion.
Okay.
So it's
Okay.
again all over the place, and I've been trying to work a little bit on like some of the other champions I haven't been playing too much, like Xayah and Nyla, but that's definitely odd. Like Xayah, like I'm trying to figure out like when exactly I can get away with playing what champion because I just feel like a lot of the times when I play X or Y champion, it's like hey, this is the worst time to be playing them possible.
Okay. Yeah. Some of that is comp dependent, right? And what's happening around you. I see that you put in a lot of work on Zeri, which is great. Um, have you? Is this just when you get filled, you pick Yumi or?
Oh no, this is just like whatever. I'm just like tired. I'm like, all right, I need to play a league game, but I'm just exhausted. Usually the support I'm playing is just not. It's just because like, in my opinion, it's like yeah, I could play a really strong support champion and then play the game, but then it's just like it's so demoralizing. I'm like you do so much work only for your ADC not to be able to keep up or anything. It's like well, I did all this effort. I helped every lane and we lost, and it's like shit. I might as well just play Yumi. Like let my team carry me.
Okay.
Give
All
me a
right.
free win.
Well, I
That's
mean,
only like when I'm just like tired and shit. And I'm just like not really want to do it. Like usually I'm just sticking with not because super fun and actually like huge team fighter.
Nautilus is
Lots I can
great.
do with the picks and everything.
Nautilus is
Such
great.
a fun champion. But
I
don't worry, I'll get off that Yumi train eventually. Just I've been lazy a little bit, a lot of bit.
well, do you feel like you get burned out sometimes? Like you mentioned being tired. Are
Oh no
you?
no 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 no! That's not tired from like as much as I dislike the game is actually super enjoyable. It's just like recently I've been like overwhelmed with a lot of like, out of things that are out of my control, out of like situations with people like schoolwork, getting the job recently. All this stuff has just been accumulated. I've just been focusing more on that rather
Okay.
than focusing more on the game itself. So that's really what I've been going through. Like right now, it's starting to slow down to the point where I can finally find that time to focus again on League.
Okay.
So I was just waiting for that and playing the support in the meantime.
Okay. Just for full disclosure, like burnout doesn't necessarily need to just be head to the grindstone on one thing, right? It can be from all sorts of sources, and it sounds like you've just had extra sources of stress that it took a while to resolve, like what that was going to look like.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
So when that happens, go back to the principles that we talked about blocking off a section, and you're going to like compete for a best of three and do something. But I imagine that this was largely I have to play one game, so let me just plug in a
Yeah.
simple game. Yeah.
This is like before it was like when I was I was able to get out a bunch of games at once. I was like, all right, cool. I got all these games at once. I can focus entirely on everything else. But recently, because like most of my classes are in the morning, and that's usually when I play the game, and I haven't had that time to do my things in the morning, and then in the afternoon I'm kind of also busy with other things. So it's just like either I play League really late at night, which then I wake up extremely late in the morning the next day, which is going to mess me up for the entire day, or I play really early in the morning, which is again going to mess me up for the entire day. So
Hmm.
I had to find those spaces where I can and pick and choose where to play League, and they've been popping up more and more recently, which is why I've been like I actually managed to save up to like 3 days at one point, but no, it's definitely. I feel like in this upcoming week, maybe like in the next week, or is when I'm gonna have like huge chunk of time to be able to like bunker down and just get through a bunch of games and be able to like get started and get back into the focus. I know definitely next month is when I'm gonna be completely free aside from the job, so then I'll be able to focus a lot more into it.
Okay. So it sounds like you're in a pretty comfortable place now. Then, like things are
Oh
looking.
yeah, no, like all the worst stuff has been gone. You know, when it rains and storms and all that, and I've gone through a bunch of it.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah, so now I'm just like I'm coming back from just the not the enjoyment of League, but just like playing League and trying out like because when the patch happened and all the new items were released and everything was changed, I just played like a bunch of games just trying to figure out everything to go. I was like, okay, what is this? What is this doing? Does this work with that? Why is everyone doing this? Should I do this? And just like some meme games here and there. But now it's starting to settle down. I was like, all right, I have a decent idea of why I'm going this, what this is doing, and then I'm able to get back into it.
Okay. All right. I get you. I
Mm-hmm.
think I've got a pretty good picture of how you been. So that's good. It's good that that things are falling into place and making sense. So the like I said at the beginning, as far as meta, it's going to be such a nebulous thing, right? It's just it's going to
Yeah, of
change. It's
course.
going to there's going to be nuance. I imagine that Kaisa is in place for a nerf because she's got just significantly more games than everybody else, right? And
Oh
Ezreal is
wow.
Ezreal's always the most popular,
Yeah,
and he's not, and he's not, it's not even close.
that is insane. Wow.
And Ash like is not very popular either, but it takes things like this to where she's broken. Now we've been standing on the soapbox. Ash was probably the best last time, and they buffed her again, so she's incredibly strong right now. So if you're just looking to climb, then you just want to get good at Ash right now.
Right.
But these two champions are probably in line for a nerf. Um,
Well, we know that I'm not just looking to climb, so
yeah.
well, I will be looking at Ash a bit more, but definitely that's
Okay.
huh.
The what I wanted to go over with you was a concept that we did last year, and I wanted to revisit because the best I ever got from you was I'm starting to see it, but I still don't really know what's going on, and that's wave management.
I thought you were gonna say that. The moment you said that, I was like, it's gonna be that.
Y-
I actually did learn just a little bit more about it recently, and I have been being able to freeze my waves when I want, 20% of the time. So I feel like that's better than nothing.
Okay, that I mean that's fantastic. The other thing that's going to be more nuanced is which decision tree to make based on what's going on in the game,
Hmm.
right? So let me see if I can copy this.
This is an amazing use of Roll20, by the way.
Yeah, right. This is my favorite. This is my favorite. How come copy's not working? All right, I
You gotta
stand.
paste it.
Yeah, I guess so. Okay, perfect. It's that simple. Okay. All right. Unfortunately, I don't have all the tokens for all the minion types, but
Yeah.
going into like different waves. So these are champions that might show up in games, so we can use these. And I'm zoomed in for bot lane.
Right.
When you're creating these pushes, right, and it really starts at a decision at level one. First, I guess, quick hit. Which minion gets you to level two?
The melee.
How many melees?
Three. Is it 6 or 5?
Uh, it's
Because I only
neither.
have to kill the first wave.
Yeah.
Really?
So it's the entire. Well, it's a total of six melees. Yes. So I guess
Yeah.
six is an okay way to say it. So the entire first wave and the three
Yeah.
melees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
okay, that's what you. Okay, yeah.
got you. Yeah. You had it. Do you know when you get to level three?
Nope.
Okay. So we should revisit that to have a really good framework of it. So I'm just gonna walk through it in a practice tool game with just the things out. You said you have a notebook ready.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm just gonna do. This is something that you can replicate anytime that you want to get a refresher on it. But I'm just gonna go. No, I don't want this actually. I'm just going to go into a game with Ashe. I'm going to use Ashe as the example because Ashe has the imminent control of the lane. All right. Right now, of all the carries, she gets to choose how level 1 behaves. Right. So a lot of people might do something like this. They might go approach velocity or whatnot, but this is like kind of common. So I'm fine with these. And what I'm going to set up for myself is dummies in the bushes just to soak up XP. And I'm not going to touch anything yet, just so that we can get a really clear picture of what's happening as far as the minion counts. And there's actually a slightly better way of doing it. The dummies in the bushes can help you to create your wave crashes and to do all the work associated with practicing pushes and whatnot. But this trick right here is even better. So let's go spawn enemy dummy here and allied dummy here. So basically our wave is just going to gum up here and theirs is going to gum up there, and they're never going to interact. So I'm just going to use this as a way to show which waves we care about, right? So we're always Q start. You know that you can stack your Q on the minion wave, and basically from that point you're accomplishing two things. You're getting ready for your all-in with lethal tempo if it were to come up, and also getting the push advantage to be able to hit level 2 and gain control of the wave in its entirety, right?
Gotcha.
Okay, so what I want you to have ready is when we're going to hit level 2, level 3, and level 4. All right, and we're really going to fight for these spots. Right now I'm just going to make it really simple by just killing one thing at a time. Not really doing anything. I'm not asking the minions to fight or anything. Literally just making it the simplest thing possible. I actually have to duck in here apparently to drop aggro. No, they really don't like this dummy. Okay, I should have put it up further.
I was about to say, that's crazy.
Alright, so the first thing I'll go over is whether or not I kill... Oh my goodness.
You might want to turn the healing on for yourself.
Yes. Oh yeah, right. Okay, where are we at?
We're at the 2, 4 melee minions, 5 melee minions, and this is going to be 6.
This is 6. Okay, so we know about the 6 melees. This is where I want you to confirm that if you miss a caster in the first wave, this is the effect. All right, this will still get us the level, all right, but we had all 3. So we had to kill all of the casters in that wave to get this work done. Okay, I think I might actually have to reset. This is okay.
Minions are a little too combat flat. 1 melee, 1 range.
So you saw actually that there was one extra caster there.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
From the last wave, or?
Yes, in there. You know what? I'm gonna reset this and just put these further away.
Yeah, it was. Whew.
Yeah, getting a little heated, right?
Yeah, minions can get together fast. Wow. I guess you might just want to spawn it in the base, just so like there's no chance of it coming to lane.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Oh no, not the thingy. Our ally in the base, or the enemy in the base, just so they'll be here.
Oh, got you. All right.
Yeah,
yep.
that's what I used to do to come up minions.
Oh, perfect. Spawn enemy dummy.
That's really cool. I was wondering how I was wondering if the allies took the XP or not, because I was always wondering like how am I gonna get like more of the sense of like when my levels happen. But that's good. Really useful to know.
This should be enough. I hope it's enough.
Minions have spawned.
And you can see like the importance of a support helping to push as well, right? Because even with me going permanent uptime with the most damage I can get at level 1, What
Yeah,
is this
that's
guy
like a
doing
lot.
here? It still is not fast enough to outpace the next wave showing up. Right?
Hmm. I feel that's my ADCs whenever I play Yumi. I don't get any of that help.
When you're the Yumi?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's part of her kit, is helping with that a little bit. All right, so I'm going to go and kill the melees again so we see, and it's hopefully we'll get it in time before it's too convoluted. So we got the 3 melees, and we can see the experience right here. Just going to go after another caster.
Okay.
All right, so you see we had to kill all 3 casters no matter what.
Yeah.
All right, so we got with the 9. Okay, now I'm going to try to eviscerate the back line a little bit. We're just doing this to keep track. I don't really need to kite or anything. Maybe I should have brought DMAT just to make this faster.
Maybe.
All right, now as just as a thing to keep track of, even if I go after the cannons are going to be the biggest chunk right here, but it's not going to make that much of an impact on what's actually happening. We're still going to have to attack all the melees. I think we might get to the point where it's actually going to be really hard to keep track, and maybe I need to bring DMAT.
True.
You keeping track?
Yeah.
All right, let me go with the casters. Trying to keep it even wave to wave. All right, so there's 3 melees extra.
So it's the 4th wave, 2nd melee minute? Or 3rd melee minute?
Looks like that was the 3rd, but there's also the casters still here from the one before, unfortunately. I don't know a better way to do this. But this is to get track. You know what? We may just have to go into game because it's lit. I didn't intend for this to be the case, but this shows the importance of the support helping to push, right?
100%.
Like you have to be part of this presence. But which melee did you end up counting, getting us there?
I thought it was the 2nd one, but from hold on, let me, now I gotta try it on my own pick just really quick to see. So let me actually just go into one and do the Ash thing that you were doing. Huh. Supports as much as I give them shit. They are an absolute blessing to have.
Now, also in this example, there's no melee. Like my minions aren't helping to create the push, so those would take into effect as well. But all of it kind of plays in together.
Right. Let me just put this up for you.
Are you sharing screen?
Yeah, I'm about to in just a half second. Come on, the computer does not want to cooperate this morning.
I'm not seeing the game if you're in game.
It did the thing.
Yeah, do share screen.
Oh, I can't. Can I not stream in this channel? There we go. I don't think I can stream in this channel. You might have to give me some permission to do that.
Oh, is that a channel thing?
Yeah.
Oh, whoops. Okay.
Actually, hold on. It might be. Yep, no, it's the channel thing.
Okay. Permissions. So let's see. Videos there. Forgive me for not having this ready.
Take your time, no worries. I'm just surprised no one's said anything about it. No, probably don't want the issue. Let me see if I can figure this out myself.
Allow members to share their video, screen share, or stream a game. It's on.
Yeah. That's odd. It might just be off for me because I don't have access to this channel normally.
Yeah, but I do have the permission. So basically, no one can join. I have to pull people in from the waiting room.
Mhm.
But you have the normal permissions, right? Yeah, you're a Giga gamer.
I can't join the channel whenever I want though, so
No, I
that
know, I
is
know.
good.
All right, let me just.
Yeah, no, it doesn't want me to stream for you.
Okay, let's just hop into another room then. Let's go
Sounds
to
good. Sounds good.
hangout area, I guess.
All right. See you there. All right.
Okay, I see you.
Should be fine now to see.
Yep, I can see him.
Good. First wave's almost gone.
I'm actually realizing for the purpose of this drill alone, W would be good because with all the cooldowns, you can actually just spam it, whereas your Q like still relies on you having.
Mm-hmm. So this is gonna be the second wave, I think. Yeah.
That's the
I
cannons.
think
That's third
the
wave.
yeah, I think I because I put the too many dummies around, it chunked it up too much.
The
I see.
the other thing that's going to happen here is there's more allies that are siphoning the
Yeah.
experience. So
Yeah,
let's not worry
that's
about
what I
it.
meant by it.
We'll get an eye on it on the in game. That was
Okay.
part of the first part. What I wanted to be able to do was go over gold totals and wave crashes and like what to do with first, second, third, fourth wave. So I apologize. I think I said the level earlier, but for
Yeah.
waves and the different options that you can do with these waves as they start the game. Okay, so is this you just reset or no?
Yeah, yeah. I just fully reset to
Okay,
bring all the minions back here really quick.
okay. So I want you to start creating a slow push for yourself. All right, and we're gonna go for a two wave crash. All right, so you're kind of actually gonna punch a little
Yeah.
bit more to
Okay.
make this happen. Now we want to keep the wave centralized until the next wave comes, but we want to have the minion advantage so that if a trade does come out, that will have the support of our casters and they won't. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now go ahead and shove this. So this is the two wave crash, all right, and this is what you're going to be looking at with as far as cannon waves are showing up. This will have the effect of allowing you to get in with a free recall. Unfortunately, you're not always going to have 300 gold off of this. You need to get every single minion off of it, and then be recalling to get even like a dagger or boots off of this. But when would you use this tactic?
When the enemy's leashing, we're not leashing.
So if they're leashing and your side is not, so their jungler is bot side. Where is their jungler going to be?
Around the bot side, yeah.
They'll be around bot side for a
But
bit.
they're walking towards top.
Okay, probably walking towards top, but you'll have to be careful about whether or not they're actually coming down to you because in this situation with this push, if you think that they're coming to you, you would basically just have to take a recall, right? If they're pathing top though, and your jungler is going top to bottom, this is the fastest way to create a rebound.
So if they're just starting top side and not us.
If your team is starting topside, right? Because now around 245 into the game, they're going to be coming to your wave or coming to this side of the jungle, whether or not they're doing a full clear and finishing Krugs and getting ready for Scuttle. Most people should be able to full clear by 3:30. Okay? And basically let this freeze now, and now we're going to let this push to us. So at this stage in the game, we'd be talking about this 3-minute window where now enemy team's jungler is top. Their lane knows it, and yours knows that you have support, right? So for this position, this is how you can create a huge advantage with the threat of a jungler. The downside is that as bot laners, you're going to be relatively lower level than you would be as a solo laner.
Right.
The casters deal a significant chunk of your damage, And in bot lane, you should consider the cannon to be an extra champion on that first wave.
Yeah.
Okay, it is a tremendous advantage that the cannon gives if it's joining the fight. Total amount of HP and attacks and just being there for the wave. But if we're here and we know that our jungler is in bot river, then this can be a good way to freeze against our enemies. Now, if this happens, I'd want you to cull the backline a little bit more, or at least have it within range where 1W would kill the rest of them.
Okay.
Okay, that's the optimal state, is that you can keep it here. So now I want you to keep this freeze, all right? Take a little bit of HP, that's fine. Use W as you need on the backside. Don't let these go yet. That's a little bit too early. And it's worth to spend 1 potion's worth of health to isolate if you can secure this area for yourself. Because that same potion, like keeping yourself topped off, is all that matters, right? Making sure that your relative HP is top. Now this wave has rebounded for them. It is coming back. And if this were the case, then you'd be looking to stack and crash. Okay? You can jump out of this. I don't want to say the rest of this while you're focusing on CS. So let's go back to the Roll20. All right, so I'm here. If we're talking about a crashed wave, right? So let's say that these minions are all ours. All right, we are the Jinx in this, or we'll make ourselves Ashe because we're Ashe. So if we have a wave that's pushing out and our jungler's nearby, then what plays are available to us?
We could go for a turret dive, yeah?
Yeah, 100%. All right, and especially at your level, most of the players should be cognizant at least of the potential for it, and whether or not they've rehearsed the execution in general might not be there. But basically, you're going to want the biggest wave possible so that it affords you guys the most time to get under turret and get into position. All right, and this is specifically, Lee Sin is already in the area. You're going to go for this. Now, what you want to do is hold on to this and basically step up with the minions and say, we're contesting your ability to fight back, because if you do, we've got a tremendous minion advantage, plus we have jungler nearby.
Gotcha.
Okay? The sort of checks to have checked off is that your jungler is nearby. You have a good idea that enemy jungler is not. All right? Those are the 2 big things. And then you can create this for yourself with the push. Now you as the carry, as awkward as it may seem, it's often your job to grab turret aggro.
Okay? Yeah, no, 100%.
You know that. Okay, good. So that is the play in here. You're going to draw aggro. You're going to take the maximum while taking the minimum. Make sure that you don't ever get engaged on by the crowd control while you're taking turret shots. Or best case scenario is you're taking it, and as you're leaving turret range is when Leona gets on you, and then she takes the full brunt of the aggro from the minions. So that is something that we could note. Now let's reverse it and put our Lee Sin clearing towards top side, and we think that their jungler is clearing towards bot. How do we approach this now?
Are we going to try to set up a freeze or let them push?
Well, let's say that we've already got this minion advantage. It's rebounded and it's going to them. So before, it was rebounding, but Lee Sin was in the vicinity and Maokai was not. So we can turn this into a turret dive.
Yeah.
But now we've got the opposite. Lee Sin, we see Lee Sin crossing this part of the river. We are pretty sure that he has no intention of coming here. Optimally, he would have come to get us out of this situation and helped us push, but let's say he's Dumbo and he's just flying, doing his own thing, eating peanuts in the Western Quadrant, okay? How are we going to get out of this situation, or what's the best approach here? Because obviously the worst case scenario...
I just shove and try to force it so they can't get a freeze, but a lot of the time they are able to get that freeze.
Yeah, I mean, crashing is right, all right? And you use this full strength of your minion wave to sort of protect you. If a fight does break out, it's often because the jungler is coming, and often the best way to get out is through them. You just say, okay, we're trading 2 for 2, and we're going to go fight you because we have so many more minions. Like, let's say we have significantly more, we've got a 8 stack of minions, right?
Right.
Then we can actually take these fights, especially with cannon being around, and be happy about it. And it's like, okay,
Yeah,
that's
take
fine.
the 3v2 or 2v3 and just try to go as best as you can. Sometimes, especially with the Jinx, it does work out, but a lot of the time, sometimes.
Well, if you're here 100%, you make sure that all your damage is on Jinx, right?
Oh
You're
yeah,
like,
100% on in this scenario. Yeah, I'm just doing my best to focus on the Jinx, and then one of the Maokai or whoever is like farther away from me.
now if
Leona just
if
hurt a
they
lot.
do if they do contest and hold, and like for example, let's say worst case scenario, it's a Leona with W up, then
Yeah.
she holds this and basically takes no damage. At that point, it's fine. You just say, okay, we take a little bit of an L here, but it took three people time and resources, and for them to make effect of the freeze, they had to use these things. Leona had to use permanent HP to do it, and so you can take your recall knowing that you already crashed one wave. Okay, if they hold on to this next one, that's fine. All right, because you can get your recall in, and by the time the next wave is coming, yes, you might lose half of the next one. You might even lose the whole one if they've done everything. But then you get to come back into a situation where Lee Sin has probably finished his clear and is probably coming back. Optimally, if you're playing an organized game, Lee Sin and Ari will come here, push, and then join you.
Okay, so
All
yeah,
right.
this is fine then. Like, even if I come out with a deficit, as long as I'm surviving. Gotcha.
Survive out of here. The important thing is you're going to have more gold in your inventory. You won't have more gold total, but you'll have more pressure for an all-in. Even if they have people here, you'll still be able to contest. Now, the team that does this best across the world is T1. All right, they do this combo push more than anybody. In fact, Rakan will come leave while you're coming over here. You're going to come just like get a base amount or maybe like get vision here, just, very simple amount while you see Leona and Jinx covered. You just want to know whether or not Maokai is joining or not. Rakan will help by getting control ward, and he'll sweep this area while these guys push. Now this is kind of advanced.
So he'll make it safe for them to come down here.
He's supporting this play so that if Maokai, let's say Maokai's here, it's not a 2v2, it's a 3v2, and you know it's a 3v2. Why?
Yeah, because we got a Rakan there.
Well, and specifically, we know that Leona used her HP to hold here. So this is even a potential. All right. So sometimes it's as much as drastic as 4 people showing up, making sure that you're strong. Now, this is more for organized play. This is for your team more than solo queue. But as you climb, especially probably around 500 LP, is where people will start potentially knowing this, and it's a good idea to help them if you see that they are showing signs, right? If Rakan is just blindly walking back to bottom lane, then follow him, right?
Okay,
it's not going to be your job to come here, but you will want to ping like an assist me or a push to kind of alert them.
Yeah, I've been doing that some more recently.
I would say the best 2 pings would be pushing ping in mid and then assist me down bot. And hopefully they translate that into, oh, okay, they want me to shove mid so that we can go dive bottom.
Right.
Okay, so that's one of the more complicated iterations. And that's the one that we're going to try to get in your game today. We're gonna play. Last time we didn't get any games in, so I want to make sure to get some games in today. What other spots might we get into? What was the other one that I wanted to go? So we talked about 2-wave crash, 3-wave crash, right? So now 3-wave crash is going to be the idea that we have the prio, we have a stronger fighting composition, right? Ashe Rakan is exceptionally strong, for example. Or you could go something like Ashe Leona or Ashe Nautilus, some amount of upfront engage plus follow-up continuation damage. When would you do a 3rd wave crash? And this is what is commonly referred to as the cheaty recall.
I'm not sure, to be honest. When I have like a good item set, good at spike item to buy, something like that.
Yeah, well, in this case, if you get every CS, you're going to be backing with 700 gold. If you miss a few, it could be 600. But either way, Boots Dagger is like totally fine for Ashe because she wants to get that lethal tempo in the queue coming up earlier. So even if it's the worst case scenario and it's just those 2 items, then like you're still good. All right. But basically, when you get these situations, sometimes your minion wave is going to start leaning a little too heavy, right? And it's going to be, oh shoot, we've pushed kind of hard, but it is centralized. we're not going to be able to. We don't have enough energy to crash the second wave, nor do we really want to. The third wave is building up. If we want to do a third wave crash, it's usually just because you want to recall and spend 600 gold and come back. Okay. This might be best in this situation. All right. Where you have Maokai pathing top to bottom, Lee Sin pathing bottom to top. All right. Again.
So when our jungle is leaving us and their jungle is around.
Yeah. Again, these situations are going to come up as it like synergizes with the jungler. If they're moving away, then very best would be to create a freeze, and the only way to do that while maintaining a level advantage is to crash and rebound. Right? If you just don't hit any minions, then you're going to be stuck in a situation where they have a level advantage, and then they have priority in the lane. They can choose exactly how to make everything happen, right?
Gotcha.
So while maintaining a level advantage, the only way to do that is to create these crashes. And for fourth wave, if we do it with 4 waves, again, similar things. We're trying to get rebounds that will coincide with when the jungler can come down bottom. Hopefully that all makes sense. I mean, the big...
Yeah, I'm starting to get a lot more of it than I was used to, but it's still a lot of information to process about this. Wave managements are difficult for me, as you know.
Yeah. Well, and realistically, what we're trying to do is create advantages in our pockets, right? And those can come from either having more gold in our inventory or having a higher level, right? Both of those things give you more stats for fights. And if you have more stats for fights, then you're more likely to win, which means that you're more likely to then be able to control the wave.
Right.
Checkmate, the goal is to have a stat advantage while the lane is pushing towards you. All right. So basically it's frozen here and you have a stat advantage, then you win. You've created checkmate in bot lane.
Okay, yeah, no. Yeah, that happens to me pretty often. I've been noticing that more recently.
Like to you, like you're creating this advantage, or it
Like,
happens where you're like I'm
the,
frozen out.
I'm the one on the other side of it.
If it does happen that way, okay, and you're on the opposite side. So let's say you're the Jinx in this situation, and you're trying to get out of this situation where shit, they've got more gold in their pocket, right? Let's say it's completed Berserker Greaves here for combat, and you still have just components of Noon Quiver, something like this, okay? They clearly have the combat advantage. This is when you have to call someone over. All right.
Oh,
and
so just help. Gotcha.
if you need to, if you're in a really bad spot and you're behind, the best thing you can do is just always shop, top off, come back, and just consistently do that. Take small disadvantages to always keep yourself checked in, or topped off, I should say. And hopefully you'll get a spot where they either like mess up the freeze and it comes back to you, or if they're freezing for long enough and they never leave, then enough, if you find the right recall timer, then you might say, oh, I've got Noon Quiver and Zeal, and they just have that same Berserker Greaves that they've been sitting on. They've been freezing. All right, they're up a half level. Okay, well, as soon as I hit this level, I can actually go all in.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Usually I try for that.
So what we're going to do is check out, we're going to have you play a normal game and then a competitive game. And we're basically going to consistently go over this. Last time we did endgame wave management, so we'll basically do until turret dies or 14 minutes, whichever happens first. Plates drop, and we'll try to get you to rotate over mid. But the only parts that I really care about are the first 14 minutes and how we're manipulating these waves.
Okay, yeah, I got you.
You have an idea of what we're looking for?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Why don't you share screen?
Sounds good.
Are you have you played it all? Are you warmed up?
I mean, like with this draft game, like, yeah, I'll be warmed up to play the actual game. And I did a little bit of that mini practice that we just did, so.
Okay. One of the things that you can do while you're implementing this is to give yourself a 10-minute warm up and just do that 100 CS challenge. Except while you're doing it, try to tease the waves, pushing, pulling, freezes, crashes, right? Just practice those different dynamics while also trying to get 100 CS.
Gotcha. Yeah, I can work on that.
Hopefully we do get bot. Actually, do you mind swapping? Let's do bot mid so that you're more likely to get your bot roll.
Sounds good.
Bot
I just
is.
always noticed that I've had a higher chance to actually go mid than support with this.
Have you?
Yeah.
Well,
really weird.
That should change. Basically, mid was in such a bad spot because mages have been bad since the durability patch. Because basically assassins were the most noticeable nerf during that patch because they just couldn't 100 to 0 and they're supposed to 100 to 0, right? So it was very easy
of course.
to notice it. The less obvious one was mages, where mages are like, you're still dealing a big chunk of damage, but a mage is supposed to be able to threaten an AD carry 100 to 0 at level 9 with a completed item, right? Like, if I'm Syndra, I'm supposed to be able to kill these champions, and I haven't been able to. And so those mages have gotten ticked up slowly. And only recently have you seen like the Azirs of the world coming back into the environment, Azirs and Syndras. But they basically needed some love to get past how good Rod of Ages was, how good Catalyst of Eons was, the fact that other champions were just better. Like there's a whole ebb and flow to meta.
Right. Also, I don't know if you saw that, but that's a 7-minute wait time.
I saw that. That's kind of crazy. Do you
I mean, we can just go quickly switch it to rank. That's actually pretty fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't care about it, like, I'll get it back eventually. So, the only thing I don't want is just to go mid, like, yeah, look at that, it's chunked down by 5 minutes, so
okay.
It should be pretty fast itself, but...
Okay. Well, so let's do this. In this queue time, let's start visualizing what a successful crash is going to look like, right? So let's give an example. Your bot laner, or your jungler is Lee Sin, and he's pinging help me at red buff. So you're the bot team, blue team, and you're leashing Lee Sin. Enemy team is Kaisa Nautilus, and they leash as well for Kindred. All right, so you finish your leash. You're coming down to bot wave. You're getting there in time to impact the melees. How are you approaching the wave?
Right now, I'm just going to let them snack it around a bit more than I am, because while I know that Kindred is huge on pushing and invading, she's also could be pretty good at that early game with the non especially, so I don't want to deal with that.
Okay, let's say that Lee Sin goes red to Krugs. How would that change your assessment?
If the Lee Sin's given like an indication that he might be possibly coming towards the bot side, I'll most likely like ward up a little bit and try to get a little bit of a push going in, or not the push, but the slow push going in.
Okay, so if you're truly worried about Kindred coming, then freezing is an option. The problem that freezing in the first 2 waves means that you're giving up a level advantage, and then you're kind of stuck where that's the only thing you can do is allowing it to rebound. And if you're rebounding while Lee Sin's going away, then you might have to think a little bit further. So let's say you lose Prio for level 2, and they're gonna get it. What is your plan now that they hit 2 first? They've pushed a little bit faster. The wave's coming towards you, and Lee Sin is leaving Krugs and going towards his Raptors.
Well, honestly, right now I'm just thinking like, what if I'm pinging the Lee Sin, like potentially I could ping the Lee Sin, ask him for help to go for this, because like if they're pushing up forward right now, then that's a potential to attack them right now. But for the most part, I think I'm just trying to give up the wave a little bit, take the CS when I can without being hurt, and just letting that go for a little bit to try to get it to my turret.
Okay. Once it rebounds, Lee Sin is now gone. He's in the western quadrant. So now the wave is rebounding. What's
Rebounding to me or them?
They crashed it to you,
Ah.
and it's rebounding to them.
I'm like pushing as hard as I can to try to get him, even though I know that Lee Sin is away.
Yeah, well, pushing is right because you want to get out of that situation, right? You don't want to be in the situation where you don't know where Kindred is and you know that Lee Sin is not nearby.
Right.
You've been playing a lot of Samira recently, I saw.
I don't think recently I've been playing her too much.
Oh, okay.
A lot more before, but.
Got you. Have you noticed a difference in the fact that Duskblade won't proc during the ultimate anymore? Or
it doesn't. That's interesting.
Yeah, that was last week's patch.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. No. I never noticed that. Okay. So don't go the Duskblade build anymore, or is it still viable? You think?
I'm gonna ask.
Okay. Because that Duskblade build was immensely useful.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very nice for a champion like that who dives in and doesn't want to get retaliation. So I'm still totally fine with Duskblade, but have you been going Collector first or Duskblade first?
I think it was Duskblade first. You think Collector first now?
Yeah, let's go Collector first.
Gotcha. Also, should I go Kaisa over the Samira right now? Because
I'd rather you play Kaisa Kog'Maw Ashe, one of these champions that kind of made it onto our list. Samira's in a tougher spot with some of the changes. She's still totally fine. Kaisa Rel is a fantastic lane.
Yeah.
So you're totally good here.
Okay. And especially with the Ezreal.
All right, so level 1, who wins the fight?
We should. Unless the Ezreal can get away from us, but if we can catch them, then I think it's really good for us.
So this is a tricky one. Ezreal is actually deceptively very good at level 1 because of the stacking attack speed bonus.
Yeah.
And at level 1, Rel and Kaisa, you don't have enough ability damage to 100 to 0 someone.
Oh no, like I meant for I thought we were just going in for the quick chunk.
Okay, right, so yeah, exactly. You're gonna look for little trades, but if it comes to an all-in, it's actually them being favored. So we need to fight for minion advantage, and we need to try to create that advantage for ourselves. If Skarner does ask you for a leash, make it just a quick one. Just like hit the plasma proc and go.
Right. Yeah.
Most times in pro, and I'm sure I've gone over this with you, it helps significantly to obfuscate the start of the jungler. Like leashing is kind of actively bad, and
yeah, I just leash till 36 and then I go off.
Okay.
Do you think I should go for the Hell Blades or the Lethal Tempo's fine in this scenario? Because you have that allowing.
Yeah, it's I mean, Lethal Tempo, you're going to probably need it for these late game fights, but they are triple range. Lilia counts as range. Thresh, not so much. Lethal Tempo is giving you the most power in that in the level 1 fight as well. Hail of Blades would give you like quick chunks, obviously, and get the plasma procs. But in general, Lethal Tempo is so strong. Neela is a completely different beast just because of the melee, the spike that she gets on basically Bloodthirster. Bloodthirster, Gale Forcer, for example, just exceptional amounts of damage.
Yeah, I remember you were telling me before about the buff that they did to it and how that damage you get now is immensely really good. So I've been looking at it like that recently.
Are you going to go, if you play Kai'Sa, are you going to go the hybrid build with Static Shiv and Zeke's Herald? Or not Zeke's, oh my gosh. Nash's Tooth?
100%, but with this, I don't know what to do with the left. Maybe Kate or...
Don't go Kate. Kate's go Ashe if you want to have any sort of like range. to play for poke. Lux, Kate took huge hits, and together that's still probably when they're best. But Kate is just so scuffed right now. It's a combination of several things, right? Just her being bad, Infinity Edge being bad, and then also there's just other champions that are strong. So unless
Right.
there's a Draven that you're like counterpicking, then it's not really an option. I don't even have Kate on the slate right now. All right, so they have the Rel Samira. Your Ash Lux. Who wins at level 1?
I'm gonna say that they do if they can get the CC up, but if we avoid it, then we can just poke them down and kite one.
Yes, exactly. And you do have the range advantage. So like you said, poking is going to be your big advantage here, and as much chunk damage as you can get on them, the better. It is worth flashing to avoid Rel's W if she goes for it,
Mm-hmm.
because avoiding the fact that she can chain into Samira's knockup is tremendous. On top of the fact of she'll be slow, right? She'll be moving at 240 move speed, and you can just like rip into her with Lux and Ash. It wouldn't be unheard of to go cleanse in the game where there's a lot of stuns. Don't do it. Don't change it. You can probably consider Quicksilver this game because of Skarner, but that's going to be kind of past
Yeah,
the point
QS for him.
that we're looking at. So what I really want to be focusing again is just waves in and out, teasing them, pushing and pulling, and then we'll talk about downtime where we can move. But mostly it's just going to be focused on bot pre 14, using the waves to the maximum.
Well, this is
Do
gonna be a fun welcome back to the game.
do junglers at in your games tend to get upset if you don't leash?
Uh, every now and again, but I kind of just ignore it.
Okay.
They quickly realize, what's up.
It's because this is an exceptional game for getting bot lane prio. You guys probably want to get a ward early to make sure that Skarner's not coming straight down for a cheese gank of any sort. We're going to rule those out. And then Graves is basically going to try to power farm opposite side, match Skarner, and kind of counter wherever Skarner goes in those situations. But the other thing that we want to do, we really want to be able to control this wave, which we can only do by getting minion advantages. And if we're getting minion advantages and we're pushing, Graves is not as much of a help as Skarner is in those spots.
Yeah.
Right? So we want to, in this lane in particular, we're going to fight early for the wave prio, and I would suggest not even leashing in this game. And I might even like give a ping symbol to like we're going to push. Oh, that's a lot. Okay. Oh, Lux is doing it. Nice. Oh, everyone wants to do it. This is perfect for you. Do me a favor, path through Raptors and drop a ward, and ping that you're on the way to them.
What do you want me to?
I want you to put a ward like right in front of Raptors, like right near the river, up, right there. Just drop it and go. Yep.
Yep.
This is an important step for any team that's bot lane invading, to make sure that your other side's covered. You have the least important trinket in the game. No, they're going all the way around. You know what? It's probably going to be a W start because you're going to be part of the lead, but I would wait to see the ability if you need to W. Okay, this is no longer good. But we have fantastic wards out, which will help us a lot for winning this early level 1 prio. Heads up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nah, I was watching.
Unfortunately, this play happened and no one on your team brought sweeper, so it's kind of the end of it.
Should I go for a poke around here, or
No. Just fight for the wave.
Okay, they all want to.
Oh, Graves wants to invade. Okay, yep, we're good then. Yep, you guys are good. This is going to make for a very interesting game that doesn't do anything for us. Samira Flash.
Yep.
All in on Skarner. They've got him. Good job holding on to the blue buff. That's for the Graves.
Yep.
Yeah, you should leave. You should leave it, yeah. We don't want to give up so much experience. We just lost all the melees. Not the end of the world, because so did Samira. Oh, she's actually cousin testing. She's dead to Flash, yep.
Nice.
Beautiful. All right, so we end up getting to work with none of our level 1 prio stuff, but that's okay. All right, so
League of Legends.
We have money that we want to spend. Just shop, just recall here. Just ping your gold, and let's just turn this into a gold advantage in pocket. Okay, this is okay. Crash this wave. Yeah, crash this wave. Now that it's here and we're a little bit late, go for the casters first, as always.
Okay.
That'll make your wave the healthiest as it crashes, and that's going to be important for the amount of time that you have on your recall timer. It's not pushing it any faster, but it is making sure that it's more enforced.
Right, of course.
All right, have your shop ready.
What am I buying? Just the dagger?
You're normal. Wait, I would get longsword and refillable, but that's me.
Sounds good.
And one of the habits that you want to have is to always come back kind of hedging into the jungle in case there is action of some sort, as there is in this case.
Nice. That clone messes me up every time.
All right, ping, hold position on here. And fight for this minion wave right now, because they already have tons of casters, so fight for this, burst some of these. Unfortunately, it's Lux with no shield, so yeah, let's just give it back. She's not giving it. That's okay. All right, we need to convince the Graves to come over.
Looks like he's on the way.
Now your wave is better. You've got more money in pocket, so now you can just threaten them off of everything right now. I would give Graves one heads up.
Oof.
This is exactly what you guys did not want, unfortunately. And Graves was down at Raptors. This would have been fine if he were coming. All right. Unfortunately, that aggro is going to mean that the freeze is going to break, so you're going to be in a really dangerous spot now.
Yeah.
So let's just use our abilities, crash this wave.
Want to shove it?
Yep, just shove and get out.
Yeah, shit. Fuck, I didn't get the auto off. I actually ain't gonna get that. That's unfortunate.
All right, this will be coming back to you. So I want you to start with Kraken Slayer.
Okay.
Ooh, nice. Hillisang. Hillisang was notorious playing pro for inting to stop backs.
I see.
And the effect it has is actually kind of tremendous. There's like, they're going to die, but... Here, I'll let you focus.
That's unfortunate.
Alright, Graves is here to back you up. Let's get a rebound, crash this in, and then help him in the river. Alright, nothing for us here. Do you understand why we're leaving?
To help him out in the river.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Rel and Samira are kind of glued to their turret. You are a fantastic support here.
I messed up the W.
Unlucky. Beautifully done. We'll finish this crash. We're good. Alright, is bot wave coming in or out?
It looks like it's coming in.
Yep. Dragon is not the correct response if this guy's pinging dragon.
He is.
Oh boy. Okay. This is going to put you guys in a tough spot. All right, so I want you to keep vision. Yeah, keep yourself outside. Every volley that you cast is going to go towards the river, towards their threat. This is fine, but it's going to kind of ruin wave states for you. Keep maxing damage. Good exhaust. Lethal tempo diff. You guys are strong. Nico flashed. Fantastically done. Beautiful mechanics, sir. You did not miss a beat with your attacks. So the wave's rebounding. So what's the plan?
Shoving, maybe, potentially?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
So this wave right here, it's already reinforced, so we can just go for a full push. This is actually big enough where you have time to get a plate. So this decision is going to matter on whether or not you actually have an item spike off of that plate. Okay? They're already here. I would just tap this and leave.
Sounds good. There we go.
Beautifully done. Rel's
I
gonna.
love this game sometimes.
You're doing great, man. All right. So what's your shop here?
We noon quiver this.
Okay. So I want you to back off for a second. Undo. Okay. It's a slightly awkward amount, and I apologize. This is gonna screw things a little bit. Get Berserker's Greaves, and then the best you can. And this is specific to this matchup. You could sell refillable, for example, to get there, but this is okay. The reason that we need Berserker Greaves early is because of the hard engaged nature of the Rel.
Right.
Okay, so we're giving up a little bit of combat stat. The Noon Quiver also, helps a lot with the pushing and CSing, but specifically Berserker Greaves, when you are the team that's going to have to dodge crowd control, gives you the most net effect. I believe they actually just missed out on their on the plate there. Yeah. All right. Is the wave? What's the nature of the wave?
Looks like it might just freeze over here if you let it.
Good job. Good flex. Good flex. Have you checked their items?
Nope. Looks like she's going Dark Harvest first instead of Collector. Ah, shit.
So I'll take the blame on that. Don't worry about it. I had you checking something. That's something that we basically wanted to do before we came up. But yes, the correct answer is yes, we do have a combat advantage, but we still have to dodge the fact that they're level 6. Right? And specifically...
She didn't flash me, yeah? No,
she did. She flashed.
Okay, then... yeah.
That was the re-up. I mean, as much as my old eyes... Nice try. All right, what's the nature of this wave?
It might just be... Well, I want to push it in right now.
All right, well, you have to be very careful.
Yeah, they could just be waiting over there.
Right now, exactly. If you know that they're gone, which they're likely to be gone because Samir's can be sitting on Earth completed item now, then you're good to just go ahead and push, but you have to be careful of the trap. You would have liked this to sit in place a little bit longer and then go, but now you're good to continue pushing. What's the next play?
I want to kill that control ward, even though it's a little dangerous, and I don't know. I think maybe a plate or just back him off recall and binary.
Yeah, so even better than killing the ward was going to be just a recall. All right, and just get. Unfortunately, with the way that we have item slots, we don't have the Noon Quiver in the build. That happened because I was talking earlier. So again, it's just the nature of the beast, talking in live games. But right now we have to compete with whatever Samira has come back to shop with, and she's got Duskblade. So we need to have as much combat as possible, and we need to play back in every single fight. You're going to be a supporting champion for the time being, but this will be good practice on holding waves, controlling waves, and being able to tease and pull. Nope.
Samir's over there.
Is she? Did you see her? Oh, okay.
Yes.
Then yeah, go for it. Start with casters. Yep. Okay, casters dead. Again, this is just to preserve the total amount of HP. Use your E. Yeah, you gotta leave.
Yeah.
This ward doesn't really do anything for you. Just go shop. Just go shop.
Okay.
All right, you've got Noon Quiver by the end of your recall. I don't agree with your team trying to contest this. You should ping the Duskblade. Like let them know that this is a really tight situation. So basically, in this situation, right, Samira Rel super deadly. Samira also has that extra advantage on Duskblade. You're gonna spend no time in the lane with them when you're not just crashing.
Okay. So I shouldn't even be here right now, is what you're saying?
Well, no, under turret you're fine. This is fine. I mean, like in the middle of the lane. Now, ideally, your Lux will hold the wave for you by just casting an E and letting it sit. Get out, get out. Yeah, just deal what you can. Oh, you're good, you're good. Good job, nice turn.
I should have let her live for a second longer.
Why, just,
Fuck up the recalls.
That is fantastic that you're even thinking of that. Hey. Yep, you can hit this guy. You can free fire into him. Graves is in river.
Three,
You're good.
2, 1. I'm dead. Fuck.
1 inch. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I would have suggested to step one back. You were doing a good job of getting your extra autos in because you had lethal tempo procced, but it wasn't worth the potential risk in the.
That's my mistake. Well, I thought Graves was gonna come down here towards river to see that, so he could get like an alt off. And I was trying to get him as low as possible.
Yeah.
That's my own fault. I shouldn't have done that.
It was a decent limit test, but it's still going to be a net positive for the team, right? Graves is still going to get that clean up. They're still going to come in. Go mid.
Yeah. I don't buy.
Oh wait, shop.
Alright, well. Shop what?
What do you think? What would you go?
I don't know. Answer maybe.
I think Ginsu's Rage Blade is fantastic. Let me just confirm. There's a Blade of the Rune King Black Cleaver build that's possible. There's also Trinity Force plus Kraken Slayer that's great. Let's see. Looks like Trinity Force is just winning. And Gale Force, they're both 57%, so either one can't go wrong.
Okay.
All right, now this position super aggressive. Step away from the wall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just too close to where they could be, and if Ornn has any wards to teleport, you're dead.
Where should be topside, yeah?
He's there, but all right, you're a boss. Good job with the Kraken Slayer flex. That's not going to work out always, based on where everyone is.
No, I didn't get them.
Good job maximizing damage here. Make sure that you're the one getting the turret.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay though. I'm not really looking at that.
Yeah, I know. I am though.
Okay.
I don't understand how good it feels to be playing ADC again after having to play support every single game. Oh, I love this.
The decision for whether or not to go Ginsu's versus other items. All right, and we were talking about some meta and like how build paths can change. If they have the ability to lock you down, then Ginsu's is not good, and you're going to want the extra move speed and stats that Trinity Force gives you. But if they have a lot of like fighters that you can just kite, then Ginsu's is fantastic. And that's usually where that choice is going to boil down to. Does that make sense? I'll repeat it.
No. Yeah, thank you. Ah, fuck. Shit. My bad.
That's okay. The choice of which item to go is going to boil down to how much lockdown they have.
Okay.
Okay,
So if
so
they have a lot of lockdown, I want to go Gale.
Gale Force or Trinity Force, right?
Or Triforce, yeah.
Yeah, Triforce is a
Triforce, my
fantastic
bad.
Ash item in general.
Yeah, I've seen that so much recently. I've been wanting to go it more. So
This is a game
Triforce.
in particular where Ginsu's actually feels pretty bad because they have Ornn, Nico, Rel, and Skarner. That's a significant amount of lock. So the Ginsu's is you're gonna have to wait out cooldowns. It'll be a good lesson in Ginsu's in like what you can and can't do, but we're always gonna have to be cognizant of this.
Okay, okay.
All right, right now 10 minions are left for your cull, so I want you to set the goal of finishing this, and that will get you your Ginsu's unlocked, and then we'll feel quite strong.
Gotcha.
How are you gonna ensure yourself minions?
Not this.
Correct, but Samira misplayed, so you're there in position to punish, and that's fine. I don't mind you being up in the lane, especially with Lux. You guys do have that range advantage, so totally fine to do that. But if you were going to try to ensure yourself the safest source, you can fast push, but then they get to control the wave. They get to decide whether or not to hold it, and you'd only ever want to do that if there were camps that were available to take,
Yeah.
or in this case, something like Herald, and this is a fantastic prize. Walk safely. Make sure that there's no Skarner into Nico combos because those will kill you.
Anything will kill me, really.
And let's go get Ginsu's.
Okay. And after Ginsu's, what are we doing?
I like Phantom Dancer here, but there's options. Phantom Dancer is a superb item in general.
Okay.
Now, if we were paying a little bit more attention in this game, the fact that Lissandra left to go bottom while the team was going up top probably required our assistance to do it, but we would want to ping like, hey, I've got a completed item, a major spike, right? You obviously have a huge spike here on Kraken Slayer, Ginsu's, and Zeal.
I was thinking, like, I want to go top side to help them out because they're doing that. So, if I just, in the future, just let them know, like, hey, I'm buying an item, don't go.
Right, exactly. You can let them know, or you can even ask Lissandra to, or like, hey guys, back off because Lissandra teleported bot.
Yeah.
All right, this is going to be Ash specific to this game. All of your Hawks from now on are going to be saved for moments where your team is trying to step up into an area. All right, so don't use it for CS because we're going to be too judicious with our choices anyways. Good job here. Now this right here, stop. Okay, never mind.
Oh, you wanted me to let it freeze the Baron?
That would exactly that one would be better served to be a slow push.
It would have blown up, brother, right?
The wave would have pushed, and the drone would have contributed to that significantly. Here, Graves is overstepping. Just let him die. The idea being that wave, if you leave it there, it's going to provide more pressure.
Yeah, for the Baron, right?
For the Baron, and it's money that you're not spending. So those two factors are what's going to make it difficult. Now, you guys could actually take control of the entire northern quadrant here and set up for Baron. The pushing is like, it's meh. Graves is going to be respawning, but Nico's dead, so you're strong here.
Okay.
Just be ever so careful about that Skarner engage.
Yeah, already has it down for a few more seconds, but I just want to...
Now, I've been talking, so I won't blame you at all if you don't know this, but do you have flash timers on their engage tools?
No, never
Okay.
do.
So because of that in particular, we're going to play a little bit further back.
Gotcha.
This wave is totally fine to erase because it allows your minions to go hit. Careful because you're the last one here. All right, ping Baron. Now, this build in particular, the biggest strength it offers is this.
So
The
strike
Ginsu's,
nine.
yeah, the Ginsu's builds and the Bork builds are exceptional for killing Baron, whereas Trinity Force is more for the dip, duck, dive, dodge, cast W, get one hit in, poke around, stuff like that, right? Because it gives
Gosh.
just that kind of ubiquitous stat bonus. All right, I want you to just make a decision. Look at midwave. Let's pretend you were there. I'll have you shop.
Yep.
Oh, I love the fact that you bought that. Nice job. Look at midwave. What would you do if you were there?
Kill these two minions. No. Yeah, kill those two minions. Let that cannon push up a little bit because it'll gunk up the wave a bit, right?
Yeah, so gunk up the wave is definitely the right call. We have no purpose for that wave to be pushing until we're ready for it. Good use of Hawk. Try to get forward on Samira if you can. Get Ghost going. You had an opportunity to Ghost a little bit earlier. You totally have an end call here, by the way.
I what?
This would be an end call. You guys have the end.
Okay.
It would have been worth skipping Dragon to continue. Lysandra has the wrong idea. She's pinging teleport. No, she just recalled for that, so she has no idea either. But you guys are strong here. Another 10 seconds, you're totally fine to finish, especially if Sion has ult, which he does. Yep, the boss special. Just ult to stop their engage.
Okay.
Good.
Nice.
You played a fantastic game overall, and especially considering the amount of things that we're going through. So we're going to go over this game. I'm going to go back in, and we'll be able to take things slow motion and kind of reiterate some of the things that we were talking about. But great game. Well done.
Sounds good.
Do you need a second to compose yourself, take a deep breath?
Nope, I'm good.
You're good.
Thank you. I'm just writing it down.
That was a lot of pinging. There was at one point, by the way, a small thing, but there was one part where you pinged frantically, and I would suggest maybe a little bit less
Oh, yeah?
on the pushing pings, kind of spamming it up. All right, so first things first. Do you understand why we put this ward out here?
So if they tried to invade us, you would know.
Yeah, exactly. We want to have full information about what they're doing. Ideally, someone on your team would also have a sweeping lens because of the amount of furious pinging that was happening. You guys have a very good plan of contesting Skarner for this and kind of getting into this area, but ideally we're doing it with sweeping lens. The reason we also put it here is that it's out of vision, so that they won't know. We get to get this down, and it will go invisible before they cross. Okay, and
Would I
that's
put
like
it in the bush, or would I just keep it there?
No,
in,
right-
that general area.
yeah, right
like
here's-
a little to the left, a little more.
yeah, exactly. It only really needs
Yeah.
to be here because all you need to see is whether or not they're coming in this way. So a little bit
Gotcha.
less. Yeah, I didn't have time to kind of explain any further, but yeah, the minimum that will see this entrance, right? And really, you can put it a little bit further out and not care if they see it, but then you run the risk of, if any of them have a sweeping lens, that you're going to be
They'll
fighting
get the
against
XP.
the extra experience and gold that they get for killing it.
When we're doing these kind of invades, is the ADC always one who's supposed to do this, or
Yeah, I would say yes for the AD carry, and normally it's gonna be your jungler that has the sweeping lens. Sometimes you can do, if it's gonna be a 5-man fast invade, you can do it with the top laner that has the sweeping lens because they can often recall, and then they can just come back and buy the trinket for themselves later, which won't be relevant until like 243 anyways. So overall on this approach, by the way, worth noting what they're doing here is kind of hiding in case there's someone here. you'd want to wait a little bit longer to set a trap.
Gotcha.
So right now, let's say we don't know anything about where they're going, right? They haven't quite crossed into this threshold, which is okay. But we don't know that there's not 5 people here. There's probably not. But as you get higher and higher up, there's more. It's going to be more and more likely. Okay. As they're coming into this spot, you want to be moving up at the same time that your team is coming to this darkness right here. You're going to see that they're going to use this path to kind of hide where they're coming. Maybe they don't intend this, but this is something that you can abuse. This path right here does not get seen by the turret or by the bush.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, yeah, if they just moved a little bit more. Then
So that's...
So I see it, you know. Yeah.
That's very much a team thing more than a solo queue thing, but it's worth, I'm just going to mention it.
Very important. Now I see what they were trying to do, what can happen.
As far as total crowd control and things, the Q, you did end up going W. It does help. It's spread damage, which is very nice. It's going to help with all ins. Your team has some good lockdown, and so specifically, your W's can help to set up Lux Q, which will set up Scion Q. So I don't mind not having your Q because it's just the nature of what's going on. Speed up a little bit. I like what the Lux is doing right here. Taking damage, not so hot, but just saying like, hey, we're going to poke and get a couple of charges off. I like that you're holding this area, although we definitely have to be careful of what's going on over here. And this was fantastic. The call itself was great to say, hey, we actually have a health advantage and we can go for this, and especially knowing that we have the Ashe.
I felt like I could have got them this time here, right there, if I just maybe. Nah.
It's tough to say because you lost vision for a split second, and in that split second, you didn't have vision and you didn't have your attack timer up. So if you flash, she might have flashed in response. Whereas if you could have seen her, then you can right click flash, and then your auto will go off. But in this case, if you had flashed and tried to get more, like, yeah, you could have chased over here. But
I was thinking about like ghosting earlier and then potentially flashing over the wall with her, but that would have been really outside of the comfort zone with the team.
Yeah, well, ghosting early is a great plan because you guys are winning. So using Ghost to secure an even bigger advantage with your shorter cooldown is a fantastic use. Also, Ghost is the better team fight one. Flash is more like just the repositioning tool that you're going to use. But your instinct there is very good. This is ridiculous by Samira. Like why she's putting this ward down is baffling. You already know where they are. They're coming. Mm-hmm. It's not doing anything. And on top of that,
that one ward.
On top of that, she needs to learn how to ward this without showing herself. Do you know the trick? Do you know how red team can ward this without ever presenting a target? If you're there, you're muted. I can't hear you.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, yeah, just aiming for the little rock.
Yeah, so you know the spot on the rock. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so Samira needs to learn this trick. So for confirmation, right, just right there, boom, you get that ward down. But again, this ward is meaningless, right? And her staying in lane right here, she could have left, right? If we swap this, if you're the Samira in this situation, from this point on, first off, she shouldn't be stepping up to take 2 people's damage to deal 1. This is a mistake number 1 she makes. If Lux had actually been ready with the Q, she would have been even more boned. From here, this should just be recall. And it sucks, but there's nothing to gain, right? Are you going to go down to lane in a losing situation with a dead jungler? Enemy jungler, full team has invaded your side. Like, just cut your losses, go get the XP. This is very specific to this game with how this plays out. But don't be afraid to just pick up your resources and don't what's the word for it?
Don't give up your life. Don't die. Just
sunk cost fallacy where it's like, okay, I'm already missing things. I'm already no. It's just get out and reset it.
Yeah, no. I've already done my best to get rid of that mindset of just like, hey, need to just go all in with the loss just to prevent even bigger losses. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to do. It's that definite need in the back of my head. It's like, am I really right But yeah, no, just hearing that confirmation helps a lot. Thank you.
Okay. Next thing I wanted to go over, which was very good, and what we want to extrapolate from this. So you're holding blue, and it does necessarily mean that we're going to miss minions, but that's okay because so is Samira. What does this mean for the game? For the scope of like how this game is going to play out?
We're spending less time trying to chunk the blue buff down.
Well, like, what as far as the narrative, if I'm writing the story, the script for the rest of this game, who benefits most? Who becomes the protagonist?
Graves.
Graves, yeah. All right, so when we do this, we're going to keep in mind that we are a little bit weaker and Graves is tremendously strong.
Yeah, no. In my head, I was already making sure to do that.
Good. Good.
Because, like, definitely as Ash, I feel like most of the time I am more of a supporty person until I get kills like these. Or, like, you know, any, like, huge advantage like this. Just puts me ahead with that the Rage Blade as well. And cracking that just immensely.
All right, so from here, let's make a plan. We're in this situation. Samira has died. She has no sums. Your team has no sums. You said shove back?
Yeah, or you want to go for a dive.
Okay. A dive is actually not an awful choice in the case here where we have Graves being this strong. And you could really bury, but the problem is it's just Rel, right? If Samira...
No, I mean, like, when Samira gets back is what I'm thinking for the dive.
Okay.
Try to slow push it to that, but it'll be really difficult with how the wave is right now.
Yeah, well, it's worth noting where this wave is and what's coming in. So do you think that this wave is going to intercept before these minions die?
I don't think so.
If I go back a half step, let me see. If I go back to right here, here's the difference. And you end up dealing consequential damage to Rel, which is meaningful here because of how it's going to affect what she does. But let's look at the wave right now. All right, they've got 7 minions right here and 2 extra. You've got 6 and 3 extra. So you have the same amount of minions right now. So going up, this is great. You're actually pulling some of these minions here. That's fine. Right here, this is a tremendous advantage that you have. And you could be looking to crash this wave. The moment that you put 2 autos out, though, now you have to recreate your new plan. And it's not worse, but it does mean that we're just going to be shopping with a very low amount of gold. But that's okay because we're going to come back to a situation with Samira where you're going to have a tremendous advantage combat stat wise. All right, so even right here, all these moves up unnecessary. We want to get out. You can even go if you already have 300 gold. Getting to 315 doesn't matter. Getting to 321 doesn't matter.
I think I was at 200 or something like that at this point.
I believe that's true. Nope, 325.
Okay, never mind.
So walking up even a little bit makes it a little bit awkward for what's going on. Unfortunately, also Lux presents a target. But now as far as remaking plans, all right, Rel steps out. That means that the minions are here. How does that affect the wave states?
They're gonna try to freeze another turn.
Yeah, they're definitely capable of freezing right here, and this is where you're gonna.
I was like worried about why I wanted to walk up and try to force her back.
You got it. And what specifically about the jungler interaction is allowing you to make this plan?
There's nothing further than Skarner up there, and Graves is right there.
Exactly. There's 0 chance that Skarner's here, and we know that Graves is here. So even if we didn't have an idea about Skarner, we know Graves is here. So it's totally fine to make this play. If it looks like there's going to be a fight, like let's say somehow Skarner, scooted around this area, and he's making his way down behind us. Let's say he did a red into bot gank, okay? Which is possible.
Was there even enough time to get all the way from red to there now?
If he not with everything that happened at level 1, but like I'm talking. Let's cover all of our bases. Like
gotcha.
Worst possible situation, you still have Graves in the vicinity, right? So no, even your bad situations are good. Damage right here sticks. This is good. As far as crashing this wave, all right, we're gonna look at casters first to make sure that our minions have the most HP possible. Let's reiterate why does it matter how much total HP is hitting on the turret.
What do you mean?
The total, if you were going to count up every HP that we have, 164 here, 272, why does this number matter?
How many turret shots they can take?
Exactly. Yeah. So the more health you have on your guys is going to equate to more time freedom. All right. And largely you're just going to look at casters and you're like, is it one shot or is it two shot? Is for the melees, is it three shot or is it two shot? Right. But the way in general to preserve the most amount of HP is always going to be killing casters first. And in dire situations, it's okay to miss melees, for example, to ensure that you get the best crash in possible. Okay? So we're really just checking all the boxes right now in these situations.
So don't even think about CS and just absolutely go for the push when you need to go for the push. Okay. That's
When it's time.
that I need to that I'm struggling with.
This right here, this can matter. And in this case, 500 is fine. 500 can be a Adorn's item plus a potion, or it can be longsword plus refillable. It can be there's options at 5. I'd say the worst gold total is 400, right? Where you're just like, I'm
just the one or the other.
And at that point, it would literally not matter. Like, no amount of gold that you get from that minion wave is going to improve your shop at that point, and that's the probably number one example of just get in, get out, do what you need to do, and leave. Because you'll be able to get that gold advantage back. And also specifically, Lux has the majority of the gold in your lane right now. And that's okay. She can carry from here.
Yeah, especially there again.
Okay, this kind of walked into our hands just because of what happened with Nico. But it sort of reiterated, most times I want you to path out here. All right, unless you have
Isn't that the longer way to get there? Or is it just to get more options to go mid lane, potentially?
Exactly. And this is just to give options. You have to have a reason to want to go straight back to bot. Now, in this case, we have reasons to do both. All right. Nico being here means that we could potentially clean up a kill. That's great. More importantly, Samira, what's the state of this wave?
State of the wave looks like it's coming to push towards us, right?
Yeah. 100% is pushing towards you. Not only that, but Samira is sitting on longsword potion. Right? So she's very weak. So we want to get back to this situation as quickly as possible. All right? You have more regen. You're going to be higher level. You've got a cull over her. And the wave is going to be stuck going out. All of these situations are pointing to what? What do we want to do here? Stagnate, stack and crash, or freeze?
I want to freeze under the turret because our jungler's nearby, yeah? But is he about to recall, I think?
Let's assume that no jungler. Let's just go in the
okay, well,
abstract
we're stronger by a little bit, and they're a lot weaker with less sums. I want to keep it under our turret to force them, because then we have the better stats, yeah?
Yeah, and it doesn't even need to be under turret. Just anywhere from this line here, this way, right? Anything that doesn't put you where there's a wall
I
at
want
your
under
back.
turret because, they're going to jump us if we're not.
You do, yeah. It is the Rel Samira conundrum. So yeah, you want to be
other way wouldn't matter, yeah?
Being in this position is fantastic. And remember what I said checkmate was?
No.
When you're stronger and the wave is frozen.
Okay. Right.
And
yeah, the more stats thing, I remember that.
So we have the potential to checkmate this bot lane at 3 minutes into the game. Rel right here probably should have not gone and should have crashed this wave to avoid the checkmate. They could have at least gotten a bounce out of it because she left. They don't get this push out. You guys get to contest and you're here. Now this ends up being a slight misplay from you guys. You have the checkmate, but remember I said that there's going to be a window where they're going to have a half level advantage over you?
Yeah.
That's what they have right now. They have already had access to the wave that you haven't. So in this position, it's fight to keep the minion wave here, but you cannot step any further because they have the temporary advantage of extra stats. Now, this was unfortunately Lux didn't help with this endeavor, and that's okay. We take it, it's an L, and we just reset. We take a deep breath, and then we collect all the minions. But it creates the problem that we experienced in game. And so this is more for Lux, less for you. But now that it is rebounding, now we have a problem, right? It's not checkmate anymore. We're playing against level 3 Rel Samira that we already determined was going to have the all-in advantage over us. All right, so we know what happened in game, so let's formulate a new plan. What is the best plan here?
Well, since our Graves is down here, I want to slow push it to maybe do something with the Graves.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Or
even
we
say.
could even look to prep for the dragon.
I wouldn't even
Once
use
come
the
up.
word push. But the idea is to mitigate a bad situation, right? Because we know that we lose all ins, even with the slight itemization. Oh, sorry.
So we want to call Graves in to help us out to push it to get out of this, or
Let me fix what I said just because I made a mistake. You have a ton of gold to the point where you can win as long as you can spend your use your gold, right? So we have Sork shoes versus and longsword. So we have a call and a Sork shoes over them, but they're a hard engage team. So if they hard engage on Lux, and then again this is more Lux and not you, although this goes hand in hand. We need to make sure that we get out of this one little moment where they can hard engage from darkness and 100 to 0 us. Okay. Yeah, calling over Graves is a great answer. Also, the fact that we have a dragon in a minute means that we could create a plan that involves pushing, stacking, and then crashing it in time to get dragon. That would take a little bit of synergy, especially since Graves is already finishing Krugs, and it's only like a minute out, and he's only going to be level 4. So it's not really a matter of dragon. It's more about exacerbating your lead in the lane.
okay. I see this.
All right. One thing to note, it's fine right here. Samira kind of stepping up. Lux's spell on cooldown means that we need to play exceptionally safe for a moment, just because of what could be happening here, and that you don't have as much return
I
damage.
didn't know the Rel could do a flash Q anymore, or that she could do that ever. So that caught me off surprise earlier.
The flash engage happened later. This one was the charge up. She didn't even use flash.
Yeah, no. That's what I mean. Like, in general, like when she did the flash Q, that surprised me.
Got you. Right here, any amount of damage that you take is gonna stick, and you're in a position where they're crashing. This makes you diveable. I would not go for this trade.
Really? I see.
We just don't know about her cooldowns. We know she's there. She's clearly looking at us. This right there, like hitting one-sided while she's retreating, great. But it's going to create a downside. How do minions react to?
Yeah, they're gonna start pushing up forward.
And this is really the downfall right here.
Yeah.
Is that these two minions are going to jump to follow you. This is the main reason, right? So you've lost HP, but now also you're going to get stuck where you've lost your freeze. Okay? And this is the end of, like, I mean, obviously them killing Lux was a huge problem, but this is the end of any advantage that you guys had.
Yeah.
The coin can flip very quickly. All right, let's make a new plan here. Let's back up a second before you cast W. Or I should say, are you happy with your choice to cast W here?
Yeah.
Okay. What is the benefits of the W? What are the detriments to it?
Right now, it can slow the minions. It can hit Samir for some damage. It possibly hits Rel and dissuades her from trying to push forward for this play that she can make.
Okay. I like the parts that involve tapping the champions, but you're accelerating the potential for you to be in a bad spot. Right? By dealing damage to all these minions, you are now going to force yourself into a potentially troublesome situation faster than
Also,
Lux
in my
coming
head,
back.
I thought Rel had already flashed here, by the way. So
Gotcha.
I thought, like, Rel flash was down, so.
Okay, worth noting. Well, Rel's, I mean, obviously you can see her, so Rels are always going to have Hex Tech, though. Flash
Yeah,
traps.
but, like, in my head, she's gonna Hex Tech instead of flash and kill me. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah, just saying. Which is why I'm playing a little bit more forward than I would normally.
But even then, like, why even present the point where are you trying to bait her into a Hex Tech flash, into, like, hey, I can kite you because I see you? Is that what the plan is?
Right here, I'm just trying to get this minion wave to start pushing in so that I can go back, because I do not feel safe like this. And I also see Luxin, so potentially if they try to go in, I can, like, beat it out.
You hinted at the right thing. You don't feel safe like this, which is perfectly true and legitimate. So why we don't want to accelerate the position where we really feel uncomfortable. We will feel better once Lux is here with her 1,500 gold.
Okay.
Okay, so once she's back, then we're good to take this, and then we can say, okay, I'm 60% health. As long as I can dodge a rel engage, I'm okay. But we still don't have our sums from the first fight. So even if Rel doesn't have flash here, she still has multiple ways to. She has get up onto the pony, which is the accelerate. She has a go fast button. Period. Her E just makes her go fast, and
Yeah.
then the other dismount. So it's just this right here was probably the only like demonstrable blunder of the game. Now most of the game, like your score for this game was very high, like a 96, we'll say. But this right here was like the big X.
Gotcha.
All of these motions, right? You accelerating yourself into this position, stepping up, regardless of whether or not she has anything. We don't want to open any doors here. And the longer we could have kept this situation in place, the better. And we would have been able to go. Now, on top of other things, like even if we don't see Skarner here, something that should also go into our mind is I know Graves is gone. I don't know where Skarner is. Now, in this case, we know, and that's fine. But many times that your jungler's up top, the default should be play as if my jungler is top, right?
Gotcha.
So this was the flash knockup, by the way. This is the remount part of her W. Yeah, it was not. It's not Q or E that does that. Although she probably cast her E to get the extra move speed.
Yeah, it's the difference.
And then she chained CCs, and obviously that's the end right there.
And that fight, I feel like I just had that auto or W because I think it was up in a split second. Should have killed.
Check. It
Yeah,
looks
she
like you may have
had
walked
a
back into auto range. You may not have even been dead here. Is this her auto attack or her Q? Yeah, this is her auto attack. So if you just walked away, she wouldn't have had to range on you.
Yeah, I was
So
looking to dodge the Q, but you already used the EQ engage, so I
Yeah.
didn't think about that at the time.
So I mean that's a super high level thing to be looking for cooldowns in the middle of a fight. But yeah, absolutely. When if you're aware of the cooldowns that are there and you know that she's used her Q, you know that she doesn't have access to it, then it's a straight line run and you actually survive here. But this turns into a decent chunk, and we'll take this last bit where we go from here and make a plan. Let's take a stock of the wave. What's the state of the wave right now?
I couldn't tell you.
Looks like one wave was coming in, our wave is barely alive. That's gonna gunk up near them.
This is the difference. We have these two extra casters
Yeah.
right here. So
The two extra melees.
yeah, this is going to push. Yeah, I mean these are going to die very quickly, but these
Oh
are
yeah,
not.
100%.
So from this wave state, and unfortunately, she's taking this trade, but again, it's like one of those where it's not actually that great. And pulling the minion aggro, she's not really doing herself any favors, and she ends up taking this big chunk. And this was, we see how quickly a Skarner makes it to the other side of the map. Right? This kind of all built up from that play 45 seconds ago. But it's like we can take note of where Skarner is, but the more we're moving around, the more it's going to affect. All right, what's our plan right now?
To try to pick up the pieces of this.
Okay.
In my head, I'm also want to push them off, maybe get a kill because they use a lot of resources there. And if all else fails, just push them the whip.
Okay, let's assume perfect information. I'll put on full screen right now. With perfect information, why is picking up the pieces of this attractive? Let's designate reasons.
No one can stop us, really. It's only these two.
Yeah, they're there. Rel hasn't even shopped yet. She's on 0 mana, so it's basically you against Skarner. She doesn't have the ability to continue crowd control. Also, this is worth noting, right? If a fight breaks out, they're gonna get peppered by 9 extra casters and an extra champion, right? Like having the cannon.
Yeah.
We said basically this is the point of the game where it stops being true, where they're a full champion once people have shopped. But Rel hasn't even shopped. So this cannon versus this Rel, like you'd rather have this cannon than that Rel. Like this pack of minions. So you're totally fine to continue fighting here. I love this play. Deal maximum amount of damage is totally fine. Now we're pinging ping. Do you remember the reason why we
Yeah,
push?
because you want to push forward and go help them out on the river.
Yeah, and again, this is now specifically going into the situation where Samira just got double kill, or she's got two kills now. She's going to be deadly coming back to lane, whereas we have scaling items. All right, so we don't want to be here for this rebound. Not only that, it's going to rebound. It's going to come back to us. So helping with river priority is a fantastic option. Have you gotten some ideas?
What do you mean?
Or just in general? We
I have been now, because I've always been wondering how in the world do ADCs manage to help the jungler while also having that advantage over me, and now I'm thinking I see it more. Like how they're always in the fight in mid side. And I can definitely see like they set up that freeze, push it, and then they go in while I'm clearing the wave.
Yeah, every micro decision in the first 5 minutes of the game has a domino effect with like how it impacts the river, how whether or not a jungler is nearby will tell you whether or not you can, and then what's available for your team to do it will kind of tell you whether or not you should, right? And in this game we saw a lot of it. There was pushes and pulls and where can we be, how can we freeze, what can we do. Some things that you couldn't control. Lux did not help in some of the ways that would have been ideal. We talked about that checkmate way back at 311. Like right here, if they're stuck in this situation where they're pushing out, if you guys come out here and just hold this wave, she can even cast her E to slow the minions down. She can even cast her Q to slow the minions down, or just help to hit this line so that you guys can hold maybe just these. But by not hitting anything, you end up kind of breaking. They break free by force.
Yeah.
And we lose our checkmate. And then from here, can you kind of re-envision everything that happened because of this rebound?
Yeah.
And it's okay in some cases you can create beneficial situations, right? You're getting a lot of experience. You've already shopped. They haven't shopped, so you're stronger. But if they're really astute, they are recalling and shopping. There's zero chance that you can impact the next wave in time, especially since it's a cannon wave. In this case, they have a very, very small amount of gold, so they may be incentivized to stay. The big thing that you could have done that you didn't was communicate with Graves and just say, hey, we're going to be rebounding this wave and we're going to need your help. You're not a jungler, but for junglers that are looking at this, optimal play here is a lane gank.
Mm-hmm.
The reason being, since they shoved, where did they ward?
Yeah, they warded the tribush.
Yeah, and you're going to have to assume that they control your bushes, the jungle paths, right? And this is why lane ganking is so effective. When you come out of this situation, sure, the Rel got her wards. This is their prize for having prio in the bot lane. And this is prio, right? Even though we talked about it being potentially checkmate, it does technically still constitute priority for them. They get to make moves. You can't. You're stuck dealing with a wave, right?
Yeah.
But the slingshot, the rubber band that could have happened was you guys go out and you push, and then Graves just skirts along this wall, making sure that there's no ward here that sees him, for example. Comes out, you guys put slow push. Lux doesn't put any spells on cooldown. Obviously doesn't get all in while she has no summoners against a Rel. This is just a blunder on her part. But imagine if Graves were here already. Like if he were waiting to get into this push, you guys would have easily cleaned this up 2-for-0. Or 2-for-1, I should say, not 2-for-0.
Right.
Okay, that's man, 2 hours. Hopefully it feels like it flew by. It flew by for me.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, no.
Yeah, this is good stuff, man. A lot we got to go over a lot. I hope you get to put into your games. If you get a replay, I'm sure you will, where you see some of these concepts in, alert me to it and say, hey, I think I did it in this game. Can you check it out? And I'll be happy to take a look for you.
No, 100%. I'll definitely be on the lookout for more of these. Thank you.
Good stuff. All right, we're putting it together. We're creating the wave manipulation that creates the kingdom in your lane. I think you have a pretty good grasp on endgame, relative to your rank especially. I think that you have challenger readiness for that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, now, like, this really just did a lot to open my eyes up to a lot of the things that have been going on in the games, and then I can see it's like, there really is a lot more, and it's really good that I can finally now have that skill to understand it all and to do it.
Yeah, man. All right, good luck. Have fun with it. And great job again in the game. You played really well. You were doing exceptionally well with the target selection and clicking, micro movements. Fantastic. And that's difficult to do while I'm in your ear, telling you about wave states and calculus and trigonometry. So
No, it's pretty like I was definitely like trying to listen to you every now and again, and trying like when the things happen, I was just like, no, I can't hear this right now. I just gotta. In my head, I was like, I'll go watch back that replay later.
perfect. That's fantastic that you can compartmentalize that and then come back to get it. So great stuff, man. I appreciate you working hard and getting at this, and we'll do this again soon. All right.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for helping me out.
All right. Peace.
Talk to you later. Bye.
All right. That was great stuff. Great stuff. All right, that's going to be it for me. Got to go pick up the girlie from camp. I will catch you guys next time. Have a great weekend. Thanks for hanging out, and I will see you soon. Peace. There were some messages that I, for some reason, cannot see right now. Were they in Twitch? I want to get back to them. It might have just been like, "How old are you?" and stuff like that. See right now. But if you have them, feel free to drop them in the channel again, or message me, or you can go to the Discord. Everyone's invited. Giga Gaming Academy. There's links all about, so check out below and follow the links around. There's have a fun little journey, and if you have questions, let me know. All right. So catch you guys next time.